I am that I am, Adamus, Saint Germain, and you've come back for more. But actually, Chambord, now for the good news. The good news I can explain through a simple formula that it's a formula of physics that I helped to co-write with Einstein. And this formula is very simple. The collapse of power leads to waves of turbulence that cause a tense void which leads to new awareness. Indeed. Now you're going to write out some long, dreary mathematical formula, but this is a simple, what you would call spiritual physics. So what is happening right now is that you are seeing power centers collapse, and you will continue to see them. That's going to frighten many people. They have been invested into these power centers financially, from a control standpoint, from a entitlement standpoint. But these centers are going to start collapsing. That will send out waves of turbulence, which will elicit fear, drama, overreaction by people all around the world. But this will create such an energy dynamic that it creates a type of void. And in the void, people don't know what to do. They're searching for answers everywhere, but there does not seem to be anything at the moment. And I say it is a tense void because, well, it is tension all around it. It was created out of tension. And this void doesn't want to remain as a void. So the energy that is involved in it is going through a transmutation process all around the void, but in the center it seems to be nothing. And people are going to feel this. The bottom line is when that void doesn't necessarily collapse, it actually transmutes. And the transmutation invites in awareness, or what you would call new consciousness, on a very, very high level. It will come rushing in, streaming in like water when a dam is broken. And what you're going to see is some very, very fast and very efficient solutions. There's going to be what I would term a new social society, not to be mistaken with socialism or communism, but a social society that is actually looking at the social concerns and the social needs. But the new social society will also not let the victims feed off of it in the old way that they have been doing in the past. A social society will recognize the sovereignty of each and every person, but also the compatibility or the cooperation between sovereign beings. You're going to see very, very fast new solutions to the global financial situation. You're going to see a new banking system emerge that is very cooperative, that is not power-based, but it is a fluid exchange basis. You're going to see things that we've talked about recently, the very rapid development of new food sources and nutrition sources for this planet. You're going to see medical developments that will come about at astounding rates to solve some of the old energy issues of cancer, AIDS, and some of these other things that basically were a result of the imbalanced energy of the old energy power. You're going to see brilliant solutions to what you would call your fuel crisis, or your energy crisis on Earth, that when discovered are going to seem so apparent. It's going to have people scratching their heads wondering why they didn't see it before. And these solutions are going to be clean and efficient and abundant. They're going to fall into the same overall pattern of not having to have power and to bring a sovereignty back to the individual people. When I use the term power, I'm referring to a physics that has to do with a opposing charges, negative and positive. For so long, the consciousness of Earth has been based on this. That is what has built the Earth. But has reached a maturity and a point where power, in the old sense of opposing, colliding energies, doesn't need to exist anymore. Plus, though there are many who have bought into or invested in the whole power scheme, they're going to find that they truly don't need it. The answers to so many of the questions about the origins of Earth itself, and the answer to questions about the dimensions and about the time and space itself, are going to come as a result of this new awareness. There's going to be a few difficult years in front of you, in front of all of us. There's going to be panic and fear, and there's going to be accusations and finger pointing, and there's going to be attempts to hold on to power. Anytime that you hear of people saying that we should go back to the good old days, substitute it with saying, I should continue to have and control power. That's all it means. You're in for the most incredible part of your journey here on Earth in this lifetime. The part that you have been rehearsing for in the other realms, that you've been preparing for in every different way in your life right now. And it is a time for you, the messengers, to come forward. Not to preach and to evangelize, not to tell people how you were right or they were wrong, but to be there as a standard of new consciousness. Because when this void is filled and the awareness comes in, it's going to need people like you to be the ones who are integrated, who are grounding it, and who are acting in a reasonable and high consciousness fashion. My hat's off to each and every one of you for the work that you do. And now, for those who dare to ask questions.
Well, this question was, of course, addressed to Tobias, but I think you'll supply an adequate answer. Okay. Dear Tobias, my partner is in love with another, choosing to explore intimacy in that relationship while wanting to maintain our partnership. For as many ways as I've tried it on, I can't seem to make it fit for me. I've been breathing consciously, choosing health, balance, clarity, letting go of old belief systems, creating a safe space, welcoming back aspects, learning to trust me, and honor the experience I've given myself. I want to understand this experience from a new energy perspective. What's this really about from the soul's perspective? How do I create better health and balance for myself? What are the most loving and compassionate choices with regard to this matter? Any insights you can give me in navigating this process is received with gratitude.
Indeed. If you have respect for yourself, which you should let this relationship go. There's an old relationship, and there's a lot of manipulation going on here. You don't need another person to make you happy, to satisfy you, or to bring you anything. This person is a beautiful example in your life of how to let go, how to be the God within yourself. It's a very old energy relationship, and time to let go. And when you do, by the way, you're going to find that there's resources within yourself you haven't used because you've been looking outside yourself. I'm going to make a broad statement about relationships. Those two are so much old energy, as many of you have discovered. And I know you struggle with relationships, and somewhere in there you had a programming that you had to have a relationship to be a worthy human, but then you get into miserable relationships and you don't want to let go. Within relationships themselves, old energy relationships are old power centers left over from lifetimes and lifetimes. If you're having difficulty in a relationship, it's probably telling you that you need to be your own sovereign being. It's probably a very simple example of how to let go of things you're feeding off of. Thank you.
Hello, my old friend. We meet again after traveling around the world with you. It's very appropriate that I'm here today talking about financial issues. I went through the last bailout and tried to be a rebel, and I guess it didn't take.
The last it was different than what is going on right now.
Very much so. And anyway, as you know, I've been working on my new project, which is to try to do some new energy thinking towards taking an old energy distribution network and planning ahead for the new energy distribution, mainly fuels and so forth. And there's a golden opportunity here, but I'm starting to wear down a little bit and need a little bit of assistance. And I've been, visualizing. I've been working through the different programs you've taught and so forth. But it's just wearing me down big time. What am I missing?
What you're not missing is your own mind. Far too much into the your own background of analysis and thinking through, and you haven't dared yourself to explore into some of these other realms, what you might call imagination. You're still trying to think it through, and that is going to tire you out, and it's also going to make it very difficult to be successful. So I'm going to ask you to do the dreaded thing, walk away from all of it for at least 30 days. Put it aside. Tell your, I can hear you screaming already. And the funny thing is, we had this talk the other day, and you said you didn't believe what you were hearing, so you were going to come to hear it again.
Can you not do it at 3 o'clock every other morning?
It's one of the few times your head is going. And I say this for a variety of reasons. One, to get you to back away a little bit. Next 30 days, other things are going to change, and you're going to be glad that you didn't get affiliated with some of the ones that are part of this project. So and this will also give you time to unthink what you have been thinking and to use awareness and consciousness rather than brain. And you're going to find that the answer is truly much simpler than what you've been trying to struggle through. You will also, at that point, bring in different type of partners into the program. So, sorry to say, 30 days starting tomorrow. Indeed.
Oh, by the way, on my graduation present from the Ascension class, the boat dealership needs to know where to send the bill.
Send it to me. I'll take care of it.
Okay, this represents about a dozen questions, so it's representative. Okay. Dear Tobias, there's a great love for you here. Oh, I'm sorry they didn't mention you. I'm sure you're getting many letters about the October 14th event concerning the appearance of a UFO. Like others, I'm interested in your take. Let me finish. Be patient. Okay. Like others, I'm interested in your take on this, but also wanted to use this as an opportunity to ask you further explain your views on extraterrestrials in general. After all, Bashar, who I've listened to for many years, was one of your co-stars in the Tuning In film. Though I've never been overly interested in the alien side of Bashar, I have found him to be a loving teacher who has merry messages in common with yours, as the film also demonstrates. In the past, you've encouraged us not to get too involved in these alien issues. I believe I understand why. I can see how we could easily be distracted from our own spiritual paths and inner directions after it seems clear that some aliens, like some people, have other agendas. But I wonder if you would comment on the October 14th event and issues around it. Thank you.
And I could be in Paris right now.
Many people were asking. Be nice.
I, Saint Germain, will answer one last time, and I will no longer take questions about aliens from Shambra. When will any of you who are thinking along these lines understand that you are the grandest beings in all of the dimensions? There are types of life forms, some in a type of biology and many not, in the other realms. There are your spiritual families in the other realms. But Earth comes first. There are not more intelligent civilizations. There's more deceptive civilizations. There's civilizations that have learned how to lie, steal, and cheat better than you. And that's all they're doing. They're feeding on you. I think it was Tobias who said, look at the word alien, a lie. That is all it is. Now, alien drama, people living inside a mountain drama, Jesus drama, and any of these dramas really rise to the surface in times of change like this, in times when there is fear. Even this drama about 2012 that so many people are attached to, they're going to be so disappointed when 2013 comes around and they're still in their same shabby clothes and their shabby car. So I'm going to ask you right now to let it go. I don't want to see you disappointed on October 15th. There are things happening indeed, but it's not the mothership coming down. It's not the aliens coming in to rescue. As I mentioned during my discussion before, there are energies coming in, and there are things that would appear to be visible to the human eye. There's going to be an increase in sightings, but it is you that is coming in. The veil is thinner than ever, so the perception of seeing things coming in is going to be greater than ever. Some people will go into fear. Some people will be wishing, wanting some aliens to come in and save them. But it's not going to happen. You are the ones you've been waiting for. Period. End of questions about aliens. I'm going to add also, I have to see if Tobias is listening. He's not. I love Tobias dearly. I've learned so much from him. But when Tobias leaves and I come in to work with you, I will tell you I have far less patience than Tobias, and I have far many more important things to do than he does. I go gallivanting around the world. We're going to recreate in a new energy way the mystery schools right here on Earth, and it will be intense, and I will have absolutely no tolerance for those who want to get into drama, who want to talk about aliens, who want to talk about the Illuminati, by the way, which I started, so I don't want to hear any questions about that. We're going to bring back the mystery schools, but they're not going to be a mystery. They're going to be very open and very out there. We may lose 90% of Shambhala along the line because I'm going to antagonize them. I'm going to pressure them. I'm going to irritate them. But the ones who stay are going to understand what divine living is really about. Thank you. I've already told this to Tobias, by the way. Next.
Well, you do have me shaking in my shoes at the moment. I started this out with greetings, Tobias, and I will now add Adamus. There are probably many Shambhala in the same position as me. I have been using the standard technology to help my physical body remove all of the growths that I have created and manifested over the years. It appears I am very good at this particular manifestation. They continue to appear at a rapid pace. I have been caregiving my husband of 43 years for the past 6 years. He seems to have chosen a slow transition process. After 18 months of full-time caregiving in our home, I made the difficult decision to place him in a hospice facility. Even though I know he must take care of me, I have feelings of guilt and sadness that I could no longer continue his care at home. Have I not been able to forgive myself for past choices and actions? I am using conflict revolution to change the feeling of guilt that keeps presenting itself to me. Are these growths the result of my not accepting and loving myself just as I am in the present moment? My concern is that all or some of these growths may become malignant. Would you please offer me some insight and guidance at this challenging time? I am choosing life as a standard in the new energy consciousness.
Indeed. And you have actually answered your own question very eloquently. You have very good awareness, or you're looking for validation. you have this tremendous guilt about not being able to save, in this case, this very dear and close one, but it is also a carryover. You have felt guilty about not being able to save others in past lives, in past times, those you have fought with, those who you have cared for in a medical way. So it's coming back up as a very strong issue in your life. It's a difficult issue because a loving person will feel and have empathy for another. A person who cares about others is going to feel their pain. You've literally taken on the energy of this dear one in your life, and there's some interesting dynamics here, and I hope you don't mind me being a little bit direct. They want to leave. They truly want to leave. They can feel that it's time. You are actually holding on. You are the one through your very, very strong feelings and senses are actually creating that hold on because you're wanting to heal them rather than to let them go. Can you let this dear one go and let them return to the other side? Let them be free of the physical body and let them come back to this side to do what they are truly desiring to do in their heart, but they're not doing because of the love for you. Can you let go right now?
I thought I had several times, but obviously I have not.
It is a difficult thing because of the belief about death. But I would have you know that death can be a very joyful experience. It can be a release of physical difficulties. It can be a return to family and friends on the other side. There is no horror or pain in it if the person chooses, and particularly with you as the one to help guide them over. I know I'm pushing a point here, but saying, are you truly ready to let them go right now? And they are standing beside you, looking you in the eye.
I am ready to let you go.
So much of the imbalances, the recurring imbalances in your body have been because of guilt and because of this process of you taking on their energy. You're trying to process and transmute their illnesses and sicknesses within your body. So you're going to see now that letting go and discovering a new level of love for yourself and for this other dear one is going to bring your body into the balance. You're not going to have to worry about any growths or potential cancers. You're very intuitive. You're a very strong healer in your own right. You are very in touch with your own body when you have this other issue in the way. So take a deep breath in the greatest love. Give thanks for all of the experiences that you have shared with this dear one. They are wanting to go.
Thank you.
Thank you. You've helped many today, not just a few.
Tobias. I'm sorry, Saint Germain. Well, I'm just, I read them as I see them. You betcha. My partner and I had set up a new energy introduction class through our community education. When I talked about the class to people, they seemed interested, but so far only one person has enrolled, and the class will probably be canceled. We're trying to be the standards and teachers, walking in our truth. What's going wrong?
Expectation. I'm going to ask Shambra across the world today. Go out on the line here a little bit. Tobias can do the cleanup next month. No matter what you are doing right now in your life, I would like to invite you to start a business of your own. Whether you incorporate it legally, whether you do it as in some of the more informal ways, but I want you to start a business of your own. Give it a name. It doesn't have to be specific to what you're going to do. Just give it a name, any name. That starting of a business creates a process that's going to lead to work that you're going to be doing in the very near future. Oh, yes, to the one who just asked, if you start a business, does that mean you're probably going to get canned at work soon enough? Absolutely. And when you start a business, do it without expectation and without limitation. If you start a business and there is no customer that comes to eat the cake that you baked, the class that comes to the class that you are creating, that comes to buy you the book that you have written, do not care about it one bit. If it's only one that shows up and they cancel the class, do the class in your home or on the corner of a street. They are coming right now. They being the humans who are awakening, the ones who need and desire the services that you are offering. The expectation that you're going to get rich quick overnight, that you're going to be popular and well-known is an old energy expectation. Put out your creation. Make it tangible. They will come. So, Shambra, take a deep breath and create the new energy businesses today. Thank you.
Hi, St. Germain. Over the last 5 years, I've had some very serious health issues and life upheavals. Most recently, these last year and a half, I've been battling severe adrenal fatigue, which manifested in complete hair loss, to mention one of many symptoms. My body is much stronger now, except for the hair loss issue. And I was wondering if you could give me some insight, help me with my healing here, or just help in general.
Well, to keep it very simple, it could be a very long discussion. The body, you're allowing your body to readjust itself, and it is working on the inner part first, and it is consuming a tremendous amount of energy and consciousness to clear some very deep things that are within, to make sure that you don't have a reoccurring condition. The last thing your body's going to do is the more cosmetic. The hair is not that important to the workings of the cellular and organic parts. So take a deep breath. Let your body do what it needs to do. The hair will come, but it will come last when the biology feels it is totally back in a safe energy.
Can you help me with that process?
No, I can't, actually. You can help yourself, and it is working right now. I'm looking at your energy, and you've chosen to allow it to happen without some other nasty side consequences. It's a little bit slower process, but it's actually a more stable process for your body. Allow the inner workings. Your body knows how to take care of itself. Allow the inner workings and to take place in this hair. Your body will regrow the hair, but allow the other processes. I'm going to suggest that I know you have done breathing. You do breathing, but it's how do I say it? You're doing it on a superficial level. I'm going to ask you to do deeper breathing into your entire biology on a regular basis. Do it from the heart, not just because you were told to do breathing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, St. Germain. I think it's a pleasure to meet you.
You'll know in 30 seconds.
That's what I figured. I just had one question. Most of my life, I've had a problem with authority. Can you give me some clarity on that?
I'm not the right one to ask about that. I loathe authority. I disdain authority because I'm grander than authority. Your problem is that you were authority in the past, and many, many lifetimes in very strong positions. And now, knowing what you were like, you just can't even stand the smell of it, the taste of it. So it's time to get over that. It's time to let that one go. Past life, old stuff, who cares? And now it's time in your life to stand back a little bit, and understand that you are your own authority, and you are grander than any outside authority. You still want to battle them. That you're grander than the authority itself. Get over it.
Could we efficiently do 3 more questions before we end the
I
session?
can do 7, but
Let's go with 3.
I thought I heard 7.
I think I said 3. What does Cauldra think?
I need a drink.
Do you want Saint Germain in a bottle?
Thank you for taking my question. I had been dealing with breast cancer for 4 years. I've taken chemo, radiation, pills, and I can't stand these treatments anymore.
Indeed. God bless you for going through that.
Thank you. My last doctor that treated me said I was cancer-free, and my last PET scan showed that. Now today, my body on my side is all black and blue, and my new doctor said the cancer is back. So my question is to Tobias, is what aspect of me keeps bringing up this cancer back?
Hold the mic up a little higher.
Indeed.
By the way, even though I was told my cancer's back, I feel good.
Yes.
But I am a little puzzled because of the black and blue bruises on my side just spreading.
Yes.
What
Indeed.
is it that I am not doing?
What is it that you are doing that's is causing the problem? You're taking on problems, deep problems, from people who are very close to you in your life, and you keep absorbing their problems, and that keeps triggering this cancer mechanism. You're trying to clear their problems. It sends your own biology into a tailspin, which causes the undisciplined formation of these cells. And what you're experiencing right now with the bruising on your body is your body literally telling you that you're hurting it by continuing to take on other people's problems. You know who I'm talking about in your life. You know that you have struggles with some of those who are close to you. Stop taking on their problems. You're actually not helping them at all. You're a sovereign being. You're a standard of new energy. But you're not serving them by taking on all of their drama, their issues, their anger, and their hatred. So don't do it anymore. Your body will be free, and then that will save a lot of energy so you can help them in a different way rather than taking on their burdens. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we really want 7 more? Oh, please. Does Cauldra agree to that? Okay. I've been poor and homeless for 3 years now. Went through a lot of suffering these times. I don't really know why I'm choosing this way. I've been choosing with my heart for specific things such as abundance, health, solutions, as well as for the bigger things as being fully integrated, expressed, and just having all of who I am in this life. We lost our jobs without even quitting. You said this would happen 3 years ago. It wasn't so surprising, but nothing better has taken place, and just suffered in poverty and other people for the last 3 years. Now I have an unjustful court case. It's been one bitch slap after the other, or bomb. I've been looking for ways to commit suicide, but the ways are just grim and not guaranteed. I even called out to you and other angels here on earth, and not just dreamwalk me out of here whether I'm asleep or not. But when I wake up the next morning to see I'm still here, it's such a big disappointment. I've tried my best to get out of this poverty and allowing all that I am. I can't say nothing more than I've done my best in my life, especially with this case. I'm literally on the line of life and death. I need help, even professional help, not from regular people out there, but those who can actually help me bring my choices here on earth, because for some reason I'm not bringing them. I even choose with my heart and not my mind, because I know the difference, because I already felt and experienced the difference. So please, can you help me with what's going on in my life, even if it's the dream walking to get the hell out of here? Thank you for anything.
Indeed. Very simple answer to this. You have chosen to clear out almost everything in your life. You have chosen it, I underline. You've gotten rid of your own power centers, all your old illusions. You've literally scripted this out. Now, it's difficult on the human part who thinks that life is hopeless, but you've allowed yourself to clear out to be here at a very important time. You're going to see things now as things are changing so rapidly on Earth. All of a sudden, it's a new call to you to awaken. You're going to find that your passion comes back, the abundance comes back, but for some reason you chose to go through this very dramatic clearing. You haven't allowed yourself to listen to the angelic beings who have come to you. You are very stubborn and very determined to go through this. Now, it changes. It changes now. I'd like you to write back. It'll be Tobias in 3 months from now and talk about how your life has changed, because the consciousness of Earth has changed, and you're now ready to do the work that you came to do. Thank you. You chose a very difficult path. I don't recommend it.
Jeff, Linda, thank you so much. Also Norma and Garrett. Adamus, DUB2. Hopefully you understand that.
She took 3 steps back away from you, by the way. Oh, now she came forward.
Interesting to listen to all the questions. Recently I've started a company, or in the process of it. I have the URL for it. It's called New Consciousness Consulting. So that has started. But my question is, and interesting that the person, last question, had legal things, is that what is the best way to promote a new energy lawyer? A lawyer that doesn't think any of this is weird. It's someone who I work for now, and it's kind of something to get him out of what he'd want to do. And you can say, I came up here and asked a question for myself, but I have a million questions. But this is my first one.
Indeed. I have interesting disdain for lawyers, so.
That's why, but I work for them.
But I understand that it is necessary at this time. Quite simply, just title it exactly like you have: New Energy, New Consciousness Lawyer. This is going to raise a lot of eyebrows, but it's also going to attract a lot of interest. Exactly like that.
What would be the best way to do it? What would be the best way to do it? Is that a question? I guess I could write to customer service at crimsoncircle.com and ask to get it posted on this person posted on the website.
This is where you, the humans, come in. It is up to you to work out the details, whether it is advertising, websites, interviews on the radio, or any of these other things. These details we leave to you.
How about a Crimson Circle seminar? This person is more particularly associated with patents, intellectual property than anything criminal. Mm-hmm. And if everyone's doing anything creative, then they might like to get involved with that.
Absolutely, and this is the value of Crimson Circle, that it is a place to share.
So this is more of an advocate than a lawyer.
This person is a lawyer. They went to Harvard Law School.
Right, but you could be a lawyer and be an advocate instead of a...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the promotion you just did is very good also.
Exactly. The person's name is Eamon Gardner, and he lives in Superior. I work with him right now. We work in a large law firm in Broomfield. But he has said, Terry, if you can find me other ways to make money, this would be, he said, I would love to do it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And so it is.
Okay, here you go. Now, you want the Saint Germain in the bottle?
Well, first, I'm so grateful to be here now. That was one thing I wanted to say, for many reasons. Adamus, I worked in courtrooms as a court reporter for 20 years, which is long enough for me to see that this type of system doesn't work very well for people. For the last 10 years, I've been learning, working, and remembering in the field of restorative justice and conflict resolution and mediation. And about a year and a half ago, I started my own business. Now I have 3 programs going. Created my own website, and I've got a bunch of other stuff going too. Today was a very powerful message, and I can see all kinds of things happening with the work that I do. Potentials. Do you have any insights for me in what's coming up in the future?
I will offer this insight. Things are going to change very drastically, particularly in your profession, your line of work in the next few years, so stay very, very flexible. But when we talk about power centers, the court systems across the world are in need of a major renovation. And the entire belabored process of lawyers and juries and judges, the cost, the control and manipulation will have to change. So you're going to find that some of the things that you've dreamt about, some of the ideas you've had for true justice and restoration are going to come to being. Just be a bit patient while this process unfolds. Thank you. You're on the very right track.
2 more questions.
Indeed.
Well, how wonderfully appropriate that we have the master of tough love with us today. And you have answered most every question I've had today, and I thank you for that. But I do want a little bit of clarity, and one of the things that I've been concerned about, been wondering about, is how do we replace all these systems that are not working properly? And I think I got it. And it's not necessarily the systems that are bad. It's those who are controlling those systems.
The systems are bad, too.
Yeah.
Systems were created in a different consciousness. So to say it's just the humans or the people that control and power is not totally accurate. If it was just the people or the power behind them, you wouldn't need as drastic of a change. But it is much like, I'll use the analogy of the Crimson Circle website. The entire basis for it had to change. The entire software. And what you're going to find is the entire systems need to be replaced. But it won't take tens of years or hundreds of years to do it. There is all around the consciousness of Earth right now, many of these issues are already being addressed in a ethereal state. Many of the new energy concepts have already been outlined by the very ones who are listening today. So the implementation of the new systems can be very efficient and can come very, very quickly.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, but you had more. Something else you wanted to ask?
Well, I mean, the project that I've been working on. And it's very, very close, but it's been very difficult, very frustrating. And I don't know if I was just a little ahead or...
Well, for one, you've been working at it in other levels, other dimensional states. You are ahead of the time on it, and you get a little frustrated that more don't listen to you, and that frustration then shows its way into the work that you're doing. So understand, over these next 4 years of time, the call will come for it.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Indeed. Enjoy working with you on some of it.
Yes, I know you've been there.
Been there. I've been doing it. Kidding.
Last question, if you allow.
Last question.
Okay.
Hello, Adamus. You know, I am that I am, lovely, beautiful, infinitely wise, and you are not. Just thought I'd tell you. FYI, Adamus. Okay.
Actually, yes, you are.
Yeah.
And more so, I truly am. Because, and I'm not saying this in an arrogant way, although I am arrogant, but when you really love yourself, every part, that beauty just shines through in anything I choose to manifest through, whether it is a cat or Barney the dog, whether it is as myself. I have to tell you, I'm still laughing about this. I know it's your question, but this is my program. I shocked so many in Paris, would now be yesterday, when I showed up looking like me, like I did hundreds of years ago. Of course, I had on a very nice Italian suit now and very fine clothing, but they were truly shocked when they realized that I was still here, that I was still involved, and that you can't put a good person down. And they tried. So, Beck, what was it about you, beautiful?
Oh, thank you. I'm available for any world travel and romance that you have.
You have to be
lined
able
up.
to travel as I do, no suitcases, no physical body.
I'm there. Oh, the physical body. Oh, forgot about that one.
I don't think you're ready to leave the physical body yet.
Not quite. I have a little boy that I love. I want to
Indeed.
be around. We did the interdimensional expansion, and Jeff wasn't quite ready to download actual manifestation, and I was wondering if he got the upload because I'm ready for that.
What would you like to manifest, dear?
The yacht, the mansion,
Get over
the
it.
Ferrari.
Get over it. Those things they're toys. They're incidentals. I've seen so many fools and magicians go after these things. I've seen so many, what you would call enlightened ones, get sidetracked and get diverted. Those come to you. You never have to create them. That's the magic in it. They just come to you.
Any business advice for new energy business?
Yes, I will share it with you later because I don't want to embarrass you in front
No,
of everybody.
I can take it.
I don't
Bring it
think
on.
so.
Are you really going to share it later, though? Are you really going to,
Absolutely.
like, in words where I can remember
It's
consciously?
4 simple words. Get off your ass.
Oh, okay.
Just do it.
All right.
Tobias, how much we talk and how much you hold back and you give me excuses and I tell you I'm never going to talk to you again, but here we are. Do it.
You love it and you know it.
I do. I'm a glutton for your punishment. Just do it.
Okay.
Do it.
I'll do it.
No excuses. Don't come back unless you've done it. So with that, dear Shambram, the bottom line is that power is going away. Those who have held on to power are going to find out it is their very poison. They're going to wonder what has happened. They're going to wonder after all this time of using power, and now it turns on them. And you, Shambra, are in the unique position of understanding exactly what is happening here in the world right now. Let's take a deep breath together. Bid farewell to something that served all of us so well, but is no longer needed in the new consciousness of all that is. I am that I am, and one day you will be too.